Hello, Stephanie. How are you doing?
Hi, Poonam. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well too. Thank you. Thank you for taking time for talking to us.
Thank you for interviewing me and having me here.
My pleasure. Congratulations on getting admit offers from two good schools, McGill and Concordia. How does it feel?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Honestly, it feels amazing. I'm extremely excited for this new journey. I just feel like finally all the long hours of research and preparation and reading and writing and editing, and then re-editing have finally paid off after a long, long time and a lot of effort, honestly.
Of course, a lot of effort, but in the end, it has paid off. I'm so happy for you.
Yes, extremely happy.
Stephanie, can you tell our viewers about your academic and professional background? Where are you from?
Yes, of course. So I'm originally Lebanese. I was born and raised in Lebanon. So I also attended my undergrad degree in Lebanon. I joined the American University of Beirut, where I pursued a degree in business administration with marketing concentration. So after I graduated in 2016, I was approached by the Kraft Heinz Company based out of Dubai for a management trainee position. Basically, as part of this trainee program, I would rotate through the different departments within the organization and prepare projects within each and every function. And eventually, I would decide which function I would like to stick to. So after I finished my program in 9 months, I decided that I'm passionate about marketing. It was the function that excited me the most. And from there, I kicked off my full-time job in marketing itself within the food and beverages industry. And honestly, I've worked with a lot of companies and I've managed a lot of brands ever since, from Cinnabon to Kentucky Fried Chicken and recently Pete's Coffee. So it's been a very exciting journey, and I'm very proud with my achievements. And I'm currently working as an assistant marketing manager for a new coffee brand launching in the Middle East.
Perfect. And I know you have recently gotten your promotion also.
Yes, yes.
Congratulations on that too.
Thank you.
So, having spent the first 21 years in your home country, Lebanon, you moved to Dubai to embark on your professional career. So, I know it was a difficult decision. So, what
Yeah.
challenges did you face in a new country, living all by yourself, and how did you overcome them?
What challenges did I not face? Honestly, it's initially it was tough, but it was a great experience as well. With every hardship comes great experiences and learnings. I would say my main challenge initially was the fact that back in Lebanon, I used to live under the same roof with my parents. In Lebanon, we do live with our parents. By the time we're young adults, we don't leave the house. So we don't, this is the kind of culture that we live in. So for me, it was a completely new culture, living alone. It was a shock for me, to be honest. And basically adapting to that was really, really tough. And the second challenge was the fact that I didn't have any social circle in the country. I didn't have any friends. So I had to sort of build my social circle from scratch. And that was also a bit tough, given that people also come from different parts of the world. So I wasn't used to this aspect as well. So those are the main two complications I would say I faced. And aside from that, it was the first time I was introduced into the professional world. So I had never worked before on a professional level. So as a 21-year-old, it's not like what you need to do and what you shouldn't do is not very intuitive initially. So I did also face some cultural, challenges from that perspective, office politics and all that.
But you emerged stronger. You overcame
Yes.
that. So
Yeah, of course. Of course, I would do the same if I go back again. So I never regret anything. It's been amazing, and I wouldn't have been who I am today had I not been through all that.
Of course. Yeah. You evolved as a person, as a professional, and
Yes,
did amazingly well in your career.
yes, yes. Yeah.
That's amazing. So when did you start thinking about MBA, and why now?
I started thinking about MBA, I would say 3 years into my career, maybe four. I've been working I've been working so far for 6 years. And around the fourth year, I started realizing that maybe I should take the next step in my professional growth. Basically, by the fourth year, I had enough experience in marketing and enough experience in corporate life.
Mm-hmm.
And accordingly, I was able to decide that, maybe marketing, even though I do enjoy it, it's not the function that I'm really passionate about. I feel like with time, I became more passionate about human resources, the human aspect of things. And hence why I've decided to pursue an MBA to be able to shift my function and move into human resources.
Great. What are your career goals post MBA? Since you are changing function in the same industry, what are your
Yes.
goals?
Yeah, so my career goals initially, like in the short term after graduation from the MBA, is to basically start working in the human resources function to sort of gain the experience needed to excel in that function. Because it's a new function for me. So I aim to basically work as a human resources specialist or a people manager or a human resources, any employee, to have any role within the HR function for around 4 to 5 years. And from there, I aim to hopefully have my own company where I support other companies with matters related to restructuring, improving their employee culture, and such.
Thank you. So you have already answered this question that from marketing, you are moving to human resources in the same industry, food and beverage industry. So can you elaborate on it now? How does human resources function interests you more?
Yes. So basically, in 6 years, you learn a lot about corporate culture and about what employees look for within an organization. And you yourself are an employee, so you can see what employers do well and what they don't do well and what they should be doing in that amount of time. And for me, you spend more than 10 hours of your day sometimes at the workplace. You invest all your energy, you're stressed because of work, you give your all. And at the end of the day, some companies, they don't really appreciate that, and it really affects the psychological state of the employee. So I've seen a lot of employees suffer, and a lot other employees blossom because of the difference in the way their managers deal with them, because of the
Oh,
difference in the culture within the team. So this is why I've seen a lot of people, go through a lot of incidents and everything. So I really want to make a difference from this perspective and, add something positive to people's life, since I'm already in the workplace for 10 hours. So I would rather support someone and make their experience more fruitful.
wow, that's amazing. That is so thoughtful of you to think about treating human
Yeah.
beings in a better way and making a difference in their lives when they are
Yes.
going through
Yes.
stresses and pressure
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
job. No,
Yeah, it's very important, because even if you think about it, the more people are happy, the more they're productive, then the more their profit, the more you're productive, the more you can work, the more the company can make money, You
of
have creative ideas, you have out of the box thinking when you're healthy mentally. So it's actually all related. So
course.
I really believe in the power of the mental state of the employee, and I really trust in the importance of that.
Yeah, that's so true. If you are happy, if you are satisfied in your job, you'll be more productive. If you are appreciated, you will
Yes.
invest more in your company and contribute to it in a better way. Amazing.
Yes, exactly.
Can you share your application strategy, planning, and preparation with our viewers?
Yes, so basically, initially, before I started before I reached out to MER, I had started my research maybe 2 months before that, where I sort of first figured out the part of the world which I want to be in. When I start with my master's program, I pinpointed out maybe 1 to 2 programs which I would like to be a part of. And then from there, I shortlisted universities within each country that I initially decided on, and from there I went into the program, the requirements, and I put in the timelines for each and every requirement of the application, and that's how I basically took it forward. That was basically how I looked at it holistically initially in the early stages.
Researching is the most important aspect of application
Yes.
process.
Yes. Researching and planning, because like the timelines are tight sometimes, or maybe you don't know the timeline and you just forget to look at it, you know. So really having everything organized on an Excel sheet really helps.
Of course. GMAT was the most challenging aspect of the school admission process for you. How did you approach that challenge and overcome it?
Yes, for me, GMAT was honestly one of the main challenges I've been having the past couple of years, because I have a history of test anxiety. So added to that, the importance of the GMAT exam in the admission process, it sort of escalated a bit more. So GMAT was really tough for me, and also the myth that the admission committee only looks at GMAT really made me doubt myself. It demotivated me over and over again. So really like breaking through that clutter was the toughest part in my journey. And yeah, and that is why I actually reached out to MER at the time, because I felt helpless with the whole situation.
How did you prepare for GMAT? How did you overcome that challenge?
In two main ways. First, I enrolled in a course with Princeton. It was a 3 month course. So that sort of made me feel more comfortable about the different tactics that I have towards the questions and towards the ultimate solution. So that was the first method. Then the second method was more personal. I basically sought professional help when it comes to test anxiety, and for a couple of months I actually worked on overcoming the symptoms of the anxiety that could arise during the test, so I could sit throughout the 3.5 to 4 hours.
Yeah. Stephanie, the average GMAT score for McGill students is 675, but you got in with a 610 score, which in your own words is a miracle.
Yes.
Can you comment on how the other aspects of your profile offset your low GMAT and convince the admission committee of your ability to do exceptionally well in the program?
Yes, so honestly, as I mentioned earlier, for the longest time, I used to believe in the myth that GMAT is the only aspect of your application that the admission committee considers. And honestly, that used to make me very demotivated. However, as I started researching online, I came across, there were a lot of students and a lot of candidates which were saying that, other parts of your application also matters. So I said, why not give it a shot? And from there, I started looking at different, consulting agencies, the essay writing companies that would help me with this process. And that's when I saw your reviews, and I actually decided to go ahead and reach out to you. And, I think the way we sort of gave light to my achievements and the different extracurricular activities and basically the things that I've done throughout my career, both on a professional and a personal level, we really put that in a way that showcased, that highlighted my strengths. So I think those strengths were what offset and convinced the admission committee about the fact that I am worthy of joining this university. I am up to that level. Yeah.
Yeah, I had confidence in your stories, impact you made on your organization, and your career growth, your other abilities, your leadership abilities, your team working skills. So all that we showcased in your application,
Yeah.
and it worked.
Yes. That.
Apart from GMAT, what other challenge you faced during the application process?
Apart from GMAT, I think one of the challenges was time, because I believe I should have started the process a bit earlier. So I would advise everyone to sort of start their applications as early as possible. That was the first challenge. The second challenge, which was before I reached out to you, was the fact that I wasn't very confident in my stories, and I thought I didn't have anything special on my plate. So, however, that challenge was solved after I met you and after you opened my eyes as to how successful I am, in fact. So, so those would be my two main challenges in the process.
You were accepted into two business schools in Canada, McGill and Concordia. You decided in favor of McGill's Desautels Faculty of Management. How is Desautels the best school for you?
So between the two universities, I went with Desautels because they are more reputable. The school is more reputable than that of John Molson, which is the business school of the Concordia University. So that's one. So I felt that it would support me more in the future if I enroll in a more reputable university. And second, when it comes to McGill, the university student body is more diverse, and so basically the number of students in the business school is higher than that of Concordia. And as a person who believes in the power of relationships and basically socializing and meeting people from different backgrounds, I then decided to go with McGill.
Great. Is there anything you think you could have done better?
Yes, I think one thing that's really, really important, which I did not do, was to start the application a bit earlier, specifically the research, because even though I did have enough time, I think it would have been mentally a bit less stressful for me had I started a bit earlier. I applied for round 2, but personally, if I go back, I would start my application and submit it on round 1 itself. So I think that's really important. It's a big learning for, PhD maybe one day. You never know.
You're not the only one. Many people make this mistake because they have no idea how time-consuming and daunting this process is. So you're not the only one. Don't worry.
Yeah, especially when you're also working in a professional environment, it becomes very tough to manage your time, and you just postpone it, and you don't really know how much time it takes. So how can you really judge from the beginning? That's why doing the research and knowing the facts is really, really important.
Of course. Yeah. Stephanie, COVID has turned our lives upside down in the past 2.5 years. We are into third year of COVID pandemic. So you are working in the food and beverage industry for about 5 years now. In what ways COVID has impacted food and beverage industry? I'm curious to know that.
That's an interesting question. Actually, COVID has affected the restaurant and the food and beverages industry very, very drastically. And the main thing it's affected is basically the way customers consume the goods that they consume. So basically, I'll give you an example from one of my brands that I used to work with, which applies to a lot of other brands because we do monitor the industry on an overall level. Um, Basically, pre-COVID, people were more prone to going to the restaurant, sitting there, eating, spending time, socializing. They were more in favor of the dine-in channel, like just sitting inside the dining room. However, after COVID, people are not in favor of this channel, even though things have started normalizing.
Right.
We can see that the numbers are not going up when it comes to dining in, customers dining in. However, delivery has grown by more than 50% when it comes to the sales contribution, and even channels like drive-through has also grown by 20%. And since 1 year, which is when COVID, I would say, started stabilizing, we haven't seen a reduction in these numbers. So it just looks like the trend will stay the same from now to, I don't know, the next couple of years. We believe that experts in the industry believe that this is now the norm. This is
Yeah.
how things will continue. So basically, COVID has literally changed the way we do things. It's literally changed the industry altogether.
Yeah.
And I would say restaurants who weren't able to keep up with the technology and the manpower when it comes to delivery, for example, or even drive-through, they don't have the infrastructure to serve customers through the drive-through. It would be very tough for them now to rebuild themselves and start from scratch.
Yeah. It has become a new normal now.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, even us, we are doing meetings online now. The idea of going to a meeting to an office has become far-fetched, even though things are normal, and at least here in Dubai, things are normal, and the numbers are very low. But it's just, it's in our blood now. Even if we have the option, we don't want to go anymore.
You're
It's
right.
changed a lot of things.
Yeah. It has changed the mindset of people, and we have gotten so used to working from home and conducting
Yes,
meetings from home
exactly.
and ordering food. So
Yes, exactly, exactly.
it was really nice talking to you, Stephanie. Is there anything else you would like to share that I haven't asked?
Um, I think we've covered everything, but I really want to sort of reiterate two things. First, again, my advice of starting research early, and second, the belief in yourself when it comes to the application
Yeah.
and the essays is very important. I really remember our first meeting where you asked me, "Have you done like what have you done on an extracurricular level?" And I told you I really haven't done anything. Like I just work, you know. And then at some point in our conversation, I by mistake mentioned that I was a classical piano player, that I've joined a couple of extracurricular activities, that I've been in programs that are all about transforming your mindset. And then we sort of, it sort of evolved from there. So honestly, like I've discovered so much about myself through your service as well. And my confidence in myself has also heightened. So I would really, give advice to the people hearing us or anyone out there to really believe in themselves and really think hard about what they've done and what they think they haven't.
Of course, yeah.
And I would thank you because you not only had an effect on my application. Yes, because of you, I got the admission and everything worked out very well for me, and I'm very happy. However, you also had an impact on my personal life and the confidence that I have about myself. Because now I know that I've done so many things that weren't on my mind before. So in that sense, my mindset has shifted as well. And yeah, again, thank you so much for your support and dedication. Honestly, you've been very dedicated and very very supportive of all everything.
Thank you so much. You made my day. Thank you for your kind words. You know, it was a pleasure assisting you with your application. And for me, it's not only a business transaction. it's about building relationships
Yes.
also. So,
Yeah.
and I feel that I have built a very strong relationship with the people I have worked with. And when they say this, it's like, for this, I love my work.
Yeah, definitely. It's exactly back to my point on human resources.
Yeah,
That there's a lot more than just work in work, and
of
that's
course,
the most important thing.
of course. So it's like it's a pleasure working with like-minded people like you. So I really enjoyed working with you, and thank you for your time for this interview. And I strongly feel that people will benefit from your experience and your advice, your valuable advice. I wish you
Hopefully.
good luck with your Desautels experience and in all your personal and professional endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Likewise.
Yeah, thank you. And stay in touch. This
You
should
too.
not be
You
the
too.
end of our interaction. Stay in touch. Good luck. Thanks.
Good luck. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.